Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
Triple H has marked his territory in WWE as the creative head of the company and has been making headlines with the incredible shows and rivalries that he has booked over the past few months. The company is crossing every barrier in terms of success, and their recent deals with Netflix and now ESPN are just making things better. From formerly underappreciated talent getting multiple opportunities to top talent getting what they deserve, Triple H has managed the roster perfectly. However, some superstars over the years have not been able to make it to the spotlight. One reason might be that fans detest them, but another major reason is that Triple H himself allegedly dislikes them. Even when the game was just a part of the roster himself, his alleged dislike of some talents led to some changes in their booking. Let's check out a few names who might have paid the price for being allegedly disliked by the King of Kings. 3. Former WWE Champion, CM Punk. The best in the world has been getting everything he has dreamed of over the years. Since his return, he has had the opportunity to participate in the WrestleMania main event, a world championship for the first time in 12 years, and rivalries and storylines that nobody expected to witness when Punk initially left almost a decade ago. However, the reason Punk wasn't the main event of WrestleMania during his first run and didn't have a lot of his dreams come true was seemingly his alleged real-life issues with Triple H. As shown in Netflix's WWE, Unreal, both men had problems with each other, which they buried when Triple H took control over the creative of WWE and brought back the best in the world. 2. LA Knight. While LA Knight has become one of the most popular stars on the roster, he has yet to secure a major title apart from the United States Championship. A recent update from Vince Russo speculates on the reason Knight is still not the world champion. The veteran revealed that Triple H allegedly didn't like Knight because the latter didn't align with his ideas, and he wasn't entirely convinced it would work. This could be the alleged reason why Knight is more popular than most of the stars in the industry, but is still not a world champion. 1. Austin Theory. Theory was one of the most prominent names during Vince McMahon's tenure, but now, with limited TV time, Austin Theory's career has taken a complete turn. The former United States champion has been completely buried since Triple H took the creative charge of WWE, and fans have often wondered why. As per Jim Cornette, it is either that Triple H doesn't see anything in Theory or seemingly has a dislike for him, due to which the star's career has turned around. While the real reason is still unclear, the alleged dislike could be the problem. Fans will have to wait and see what WWE has in store for the stars in the future. They did this on purpose? WWE veteran questions major Triple H blunder, exclusive. The first ever two-night historic WWE SummerSlam Premium Live event took place earlier this month, but a major name was curiously missing. While some believe that it was a deliberate move by Triple H, wrestling veteran Dutch Mantel is not quite sure. The missing person being talked about is Bret the Hitman Hart, who was apparently told that there wasn't room to seat him at SummerSlam. This led to heated discussion in the pro wrestling community, with people questioning whether it was an intentional snub. According to Dutch Mantel, it was likely just a mistake. However, the WWE veteran did have his doubts as well. Speaking on Unscripted, he had the following to say when Dr. Chris Featherstone brought up the topic. That just had to be a mistake. Conspiracy theories, that's what we are going to get into here. Are you trying to imply, Chris, that they did this on purpose? 7-11 onwards. Bill Apter also spoke about the incident in WWE. According to veteran journalist Bill Apter, Bret Hart was a part of the invitation list for WWE SummerSlam. Speaking on the same episode of Unscripted, Apter had the following observations to make. He was in disbelief when confronted with the possibility that the snub was a deliberate move by Triple H. They had him on the invitation list, and I had seen him in Vegas. They had him on the invitation list, but when it came down to the guys that they were going to show on camera, like the front rows and everything like this, they said they didn't have room for him. How could they have done that? It's Bret Hart. 7:34 onwards. As of now, it remains to be seen if Bret Hart will have any further comments to make on the topic. When it comes to the world of WWE, no decision escapes scrutiny. Whether it's a match finish, a superstar's push, or a sudden storyline shift, fans and veterans alike dissect every move with the precision of a surgeon. But the latest creative call from Triple H has left one respected WWE veteran completely baffled, so much so that he's openly wondering if it was done intentionally to stir controversy. In an exclusive conversation, the veteran, who chose not to be named publicly, but his decades of in-ring and backstage experience didn't hold back. They did this on purpose? That's the only explanation I can think of. There's no way you make a call like that by accident, not with the kind of team they have in place now. The blunder in question? The decision to have a heavily hyped superstar lose clean in a high-profile match on Monday Night Raw, just weeks after being built up as the next big thing. It was a loss that didn't just halt momentum, it crushed it entirely in the eyes of many fans. The superstar who shouldn't have lost. This wasn't just any mid-card talent who could absorb a defeat and bounce back. The performer in question was positioned as a future main eventer, someone who Triple H himself had reportedly handpicked to lead the next generation. The weeks leading up to the match were filled with vignettes, dominant squash wins, and teasing promos that had fans convinced they were watching the rise of a new face of the company. Then, in what many are calling a creative train wreck, the star lost clean to an opponent who, while respected, has been booked inconsistently and is nowhere near a title picture. For many, the finish wasn't just a disappointment, it was a shock. The veteran's take. The WWE veteran didn't mince words. "You've got this guy, you've spent months building him up, you've had social media buzzing, the merch sales were starting to tick up. And then you have him lose clean? Not even a DQ, not even an interference angle, nothing to protect him? That's a rookie mistake, not something you expect from someone like Triple H." They went on to explain that in wrestling psychology, momentum is everything. Once you kill a character's momentum like that, you can't just turn the switch back on. You can try, sure, but the fans remember. They start to think, well, if he couldn't win that match, why should we believe he can win the big one? Was it a power move or a miscalculation? Some believe the decision might have been less of a blunder and more of a deliberate booking twist. WWE has been known to pull shock results to spark fan debate and keep people guessing. Triple H, who has embraced a more sports-oriented feel in recent months, has sometimes favored unpredictable finishes over traditional protection booking. However, the veteran believes this wasn't the right star to experiment with. There's a difference between swerving the audience and sabotaging your own investment. This guy was the closest thing they had to a sure bet, and they just took the wind right out of his sails. Backstage reaction. Our sources say the locker room was equally puzzled. Some wrestlers reportedly approached agents after the match to ask if there was an injury or real-life heat that prompted the finish. One source claimed they saw more than a few raised eyebrows when the creative team outlined the plan earlier in the day. Another insider hinted that the superstar himself wasn't thrilled with the decision but kept it professional. He's a team player, so he went along with it. But you could tell he was frustrated. He's worked his tail off to get over, and then this happens? Yeah, he wasn't jumping for joy afterward. Triple H's booking philosophy. Triple H has earned praise since taking over creative for emphasizing long-term storytelling and giving wrestlers more freedom in their promos and matches. But even his biggest supporters admit that not every call has been a home run. In this case, critics say the decision reeks of overthinking, trying too hard to subvert expectations at the cost of basic wrestling logic. The veteran put it bluntly. Sometimes the obvious call is the right call. You don't need to get cute with it. Protect your investments, protect your future main eventers. It's not rocket science. Fan backlash. As soon as the match ended, social media lit up with complaints. Phrases like buried, wasted push, and creative malpractice trended on wrestling Twitter. Fans posted comparison clips of other times WWE had halted a hot push out of nowhere, drawing parallels to stars like Karrion Kross, Keith Lee, and even Bray Wyatt's early runs. Some hardcore supporters of Triple H's vision defended the move, suggesting it might be part of a bigger story that will make sense in the coming weeks. But for now, the overwhelming sentiment is disappointment. Could it be fixed? The good news is that in wrestling, momentum can be rebuilt, but it takes careful planning and a few key wins. The veteran believes WWE still has time to course correct. If I were booking it, I'd have him come out next week, cut a fiery promo about how he got caught off guard and it won't happen again. Then I'd feed him a string of credible opponents to beat. Remind the fans why they got behind him in the first place. But it's gotta happen fast, because the longer you wait, the harder it is to make people care again. A pattern emerging? This isn't the first time a promising push has been halted suddenly since Triple H took over. While many of those instances have eventually been explained through long-term story arcs, others simply faded away with no resolution. That inconsistency has some veterans worried. You can't just assume the audience will always wait for the payoff. In today's world, People have short attention spans. You lose them, they're gone, and they might not come back. The bigger picture. The controversy also speaks to a broader challenge WWE faces under Triple H's leadership, balancing fan expectations with surprise booking. While unpredictability keeps things fresh, too much of it can create distrust among viewers who feel their emotional investment isn't rewarded. In the past, WWE could get away with slow-burn storytelling because fans had fewer options. Now, with AEW, NJPW, and countless indie promotions offering alternative styles and booking, patience is wearing thin. Final word from the veteran. Before wrapping up our conversation, the veteran reiterated his disbelief. "I just don't get it. You've got gold in your hands and you toss it away like it's nothing? If this was done on purpose, it's a bold strategy, maybe too bold. And if it was a mistake, well, that's even worse. Either way, they better have a plan to fix it." Whether Triple H sees it as a blunder or a masterstroke remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, the WWE Universe will be watching closely in the coming weeks, looking for signs that this was all part of a bigger plan. Or the kind of creative misstep that can define an entire era.